Hey guys, Nick here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the 2026 Yamaha Kodiak 700 XTR. So for this model year, what Yamaha did with their lineup is they redid the way they do the names of the models. So prior model years, this package right here was referred to as the EPS SE, the special edition, which they also did on the 450 Kodiak. And those two would look identical in color scheming, but they would not look the same as the Grizzly XTR model. So what they did this year to kind of fix that and make everything seem a lot more similar and in the same family in terms of models, so they gave them all the same color packages, and they also gave them the same name. So now this model is now an XTR, which prior model years, of course, it wasn't. So it makes it a little more streamlined because now you have your 450 Kodiak XTR, your Kodiak 700 XTR, and your Grizzly 700 XTR. What's that name and package is really just the top of the line of all the features for off-road. What that's going to mean to you in the 450 or the 700 Kodiak package though, is it's going to mean you have the two-toned aluminum wheels, you have the special paint, you have the worn winch from factory, you have the third headlight, you have power steering, you have the differential lock on them. And that's really what you're going to be getting with that XTR package. You're also going to get a full-size receiver hitch in the back rear end of this machine as well, which is nice, and same thing on that 450 and of course the Grizzly. So it's actually a nice way they've done this. They streamlined it, so no matter of the CC and size of machine you want to be in, you can get the same kind of package and setup across the board. Now in terms of this model right here, it's only cosmetic changes with that color palette and the name change. Electronically and mechanically, it's all the same. So this is powered by a 686cc fuel-injected, liquid-cooled, single-cylinder engine, which is paired up to a CVT transmission. However, Yamaha does do it differently than its competitors. You actually have a wet clutch in these, which is going to do all the slipping from a standstill to moving, and so the belt always has a constant grab and tension on it, meaning your belt will not wear because it is always tight and snug. And that is not what's causing the engaging, versus a lot of competitors out there are doing more of a snowmobile setup clutch where it's going to slip to engage. And so that actually allows Yamaha to give you a 10-year warranty on the belt on these machines. So it's kind of a little trick there what they do there. But it is a really nice solid warranty to get, and it shows just how proven the belts are on these Yamahas. And as you know, I don't have to list names, but there is a lot of companies out there that you will be seeing back in the shop after 6 months or a month of heavy riding because it blew a belt. Honestly, I've never really ran into or seen that on the Yamahas. So that's something to keep in mind when you are shopping for these, to keep note of and to differentiate from the competitors. But it is all belt driven, okay? You do have electronic two-wheel, four-wheel drive, and a diff lock on it. The rear end is always going to be locked. Four-wheel drive is going to be a limited slip up front, and then diff lock is going to lock that front end up, and both front wheels are going to also turn, which I find you have a lot better luck and a lot better handling with something like this, a true four-wheel drive, versus an all-wheel drive system that's going to slip back and forth, one wheel up front, one in the back, and it's not going to allow you to kick the rear end out as easily. Now let's go over pricing while we're going through this. This machine has a base MSRP of $10,399, but you also do have a destination charge of a whopping $700 from Yamaha. Now, some dealers might have a little prep or setup fee on top of this, but if you go through a good Yamaha dealer, they'll either have some specials or discounts and work with you on the pricing on these just a bit. And you can use my trusted Yamaha dealer, Jaff Motors in Glenville, New York. All of their info on screen and as well down below. So be sure to check them out if you want to pick up one of these machines or any of Yamaha's ATV products. Now that we've gone over all the information on the Kodiak, let's get up close and go for a tour around this unit. Alrighty, now walking up to the Kodiak, the only way you're going to know this is an XTR, interestingly enough, is this badge right here telling you it's an XTR. On the sides of these in the past, they've told you special edition under the Kodiak logo, but they've gotten rid of that. It's an all new graphics package across the board on all of them again with the new color. And it's just different font. You get kind of a high-vis yellow there for the 700. And the plastics all the way around is the same color. You do get a two-tone on the Grizzly, and so that one they do a little bit differently than the 700 and the 450, but those two will match 100%. Just This is a little bit bigger of a footprint than that 450. Now coming back around to the front, let's talk about the front end. There's your Warren winch right up in there. Your logo is to the side. It's a little tricky to see, but it is there, letting you know. Steel cable around, black hook, right? You get your free spool right on the right side for you. And coming on up, you got halogen headlights all the way around. Your low beams are down there. Your top third headlight is for your high beam. So if we put on low beam, that turns off and those stay on. Now, up front, this hood will come off, this cowl. You have 4 push pins. You lift it up and slide it, and that will lift up and reveal your battery compartment and all your main electronics on this unit. Battery sitting right there, main electronics, an intake right there, keeps it nice and high, all your electrical components. So if you do swamp and sink one of these pretty good, it's nice knowing all your main electronics are stowed pretty high up, so you should stay mostly dry. But coming around now to our side, Yamaha, your main key is a distinct key with the big plastic ring to it, says Yamaha. And your secondary backup key is just a little metal key that does tell you that it's a Yamaha. It does say Yamaha on it. It's a little hard to see if it focuses, but it is there. You do get a 12-volt outlet on all these as well, which is a nice little touch right there to plug into, charge the device, etc. Fuel fill, low center of gravity. The fuel tank is under the seat, which is a pretty good and nice place for it. Keeps it nice and low. Engine's nice and low. You get the theme. Center compartment right here. It's actually a pretty deep trunk. It goes pretty far forward and back a little ways, but it does go all the way up under the dashboard. So you actually get a lot of storage space. All the manuals and info is stowed under there. Okay. Coming around towards the back, there's your full receiver style hitch right there. You slide right into it and put a ball on that and 20 trailers. So that's kind of nice. That way, once you have a hitch and it drops down, you're going to come back out here, which is going to keep your trailers and carts further away from the back end, which is nice. Take a look at the independent rear suspension. Your rear brake is, let's see if we can see it. So hard to see, but it's in there, kind of tucked away. And now on this side of the machine, as we worked our way around, this is your unlock and your lock for your dipstick. Pull that right out and check it. Clear it off, and then you dip it in and set it in, and then this just locks nicely just like that. Now let's hop right on it. Alrighty, now sitting on the Kodiak, let's turn our key on. Dashboard. So on our left side, we got a couple things: your emergency kill, your headlights, right? Your off, your low, and your high beam. High beam gives you a red light on the dashboard. Winch control right there. On the left side, you have a gear indicator. So right now we're in park. If we shift it up in reverse, neutral, high range, and your low range all the way up there. Your right side is going to be kind of your warning, temperature, check engine lights, battery light. Your right side of your handlebar here is going to be your 2-wheel 4-wheel drive. So there's your 4-wheel drive right there. Slide this over and push the O-button out. There goes your diff lock, flashing red light, flashing right there as well. And you have your override, which you'll hold. And that'll allow you to have full speed and full RPM while you're driving the machine in diff lock. Otherwise, you have normal 4-wheel drive, which is probably all you're ever going to need, honestly. Now in the dashboard in the bottom, you have your coolant temp, your clock, you have your hours, your voltage, and returns right around. Up top, you have 2 trips, your wrench for your service indicator, and your odometer on the machine, and digital fuel gauge right there on the right. All of these are labeled park, neutral, reverse, whole way around. All your warning lights you need to know. Your tire pressures are down here. If you want to know and see those, you'll run usually on average about 5 psi flat in these tires. Now something I'm going to hop off on the machine to show you quickly That's a nice feature to the Yamaha. So you actually have a governor here. You have this set screw. So if you back this little 6mm nut off and screw the Phillips in, it'll regulate the throttle. So if you want to turn this down for someone that's not super familiar, and you know, a 700 is actually a pretty potent machine. This is definitely not the machine you want to buy as a beginner or throw someone on that's never had any experience, but they do allow you to turn the throttle right down. So if you set that in, you can make it so the machine only goes like 10-15 miles an hour, which is a lot safer than going 30 or 40, right, or more. But you're still moving along at 50 miles an hour depending where you are. But it is nice that you get to turn it right down, and that's a nice little feature on the Yamaha. Now hopping back up, let's start it. Nice and smooth, single cylinder engine. These are actually pretty fuel efficient, these 700s. They do burn and eat some gas, but they're not ridiculous on gas intake, and definitely a lot of V-twins out there or parallel twin 700s out there are gonna burn a lot more fuel than this will. Let's go take it for a light spin. Alrighty guys, well that's going to do it on the Kodiak 700 XTR for 2026. Hope you all did enjoy. Leave a like down below, subscribe if you're new, comment what your experience are with these machines, what you like, what you maybe don't like. The newer big LED display is a nice little touch on these. All the features, the winch, the power steering, the differential lock, the aluminum wheels, the better paint and finish on these. It's a really nice package for the money. Of course, you are spending a good substantial amount of money on an ATV, but there are of course more expensive units out there than this, and you are getting a lot in the package. And of course there are little lower, more affordable trims in the 700. I like how they give you kind of the matte finish on the fenders, which isn't going to scuff and mar as easily, and you get a little bit of gloss finish where you're not going to be in contact as much with it, and gives you a little more shine out of the machine. Same thing on the headlight. So definitely a very attractive and good looking unit. Let me know what you guys all think down below, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.